Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ringto. Now, when you go on our IG page, Exhub News Global, it has been posted there that Ghana ends the use of English as the main language of teaching in schools. Ghana ends the use of English as the main language of teaching in schools. Now, recently, Minister for Education, Honorable Haruna Iddrisu, went to Mauli Senior High School in the Volta region as they celebrate their 75th anniversary. And he made some comments when he went there.
The Director General of GES is here. You have emphasized that we should shift focus to basic education and to improve learning outcomes at the basic level. Mr. President, the story is told of a young girl whose teacher somewhere in the Ashanti region went in and was waxing English, teaching at that early stages of development. Then the child told the teacher that, So, Mr. President, in line with that and with your authority, I'm directing the Director General of the Ghana Education Service and the GES that from today, teacher use of mother tongue instruction is now compulsory in all Ghanaian schools. The GES is to ensure strict enforcement of this. That child, that Ghanaian child, was not born into an English family, but a proud Asante Akan family, and deserves to learn. This is part of President Mohammed's research agenda.
So we have all the information, we have all the gist here for you. Now, so like I said, Ghana ends the use of English as the main language of teaching in school. So when he went to Mauli Senior High School to grace their anniversary, he made a comment, he made some comment, or he was giving the floor, and then he said that some students find it difficult in understanding when English is being used to explain to them, or during teaching lessons. You know, our teachers use English in explaining to these students. So some of them find it very difficult to comprehend and also to understand what the teachers have been saying. So he made it compulsory that our local dialects, as we have in Ghana, such as Chi, such as Ewe, such as Ga, Adangbe, Hausa, Dagati, and so on and so forth, they are now compulsory in our schools. So our teachers can now use all these local dialects, as well as the students as well, for better understanding. And I feel it's a good thing, or is something that is going to help, or it's in the right direction of helping the student body. Because, frankly speaking, some students find it very difficult to understand the English when it is being used to explain. Even for some people that feel they even understand English very well and can speak English very well, there are some parts in teaching whereby you would need the local dialect to understand it better. If you would agree with me, there are some parts in English where you need the local dialect to understand it better. So I feel this is in the right direction and it's going to really help. But in as much as we want to make the local dialect or make our local dialect compulsory in our schools, I think the English language should not be rendered into the background. We shouldn't leave it. Because I know our people. Wakaja say on factory and I say every and I say this and then they will forget about the English language and now start using the local dialect 100%. And then our local dialects too are not internationally, accepted languages. You can't go to the United States and then go and speak, let's say, Chi, when you meet someone who is not from, your country, or who is not from, even in Ghana here, there are some people that cannot even understand certain languages when you go to a different jurisdiction. So let's say a Ghana goes to the Volta region and goes there to speak Ga. The Ga language to these Voltarians. Not every Voltarian understands the Ga language. You see, so in as much as this has been made compulsory, I feel the English language should still be one of the most important or one of the most paid attention language in in our schools. Okay, we should also try we should also try as much as possible to make sure that the English language is also being used. Despite, we're using the local dialect. So maybe if someone chooses to use the local dialect, there shouldn't be a punishment for that matter. But the English language should also be used. So the fact that they say we should use the local language does not mean that go and sleep on the English language. Because I know some people, this thing that has been given, or the benefit that has been given to them to speak the vernacular, they'll go on and be using it anywhere. They wouldn't even bother trying to speak the English language anymore. And it's going to be very difficult when you are answering questions, because if you don't know how to speak English and you are answering questions, we don't use vernacular to answer mathematics questions. We don't use French, we don't use Ever to answer English essays. We don't use GAN to answer social studies. We don't use Tree to answer, what's the name? What are some of the subjects? RME. Now we have different subjects. What are people? Creative arts and all that. History. You can't say you're using the vernacular, or you can't say you're using the local dialect to answer these questions. You would need the English language in answering this question. So in as much as we want to make the local dialect very, very, very necessary, or very, very important, or very compulsory, we should also make sure that the English language is also compulsory. Because imagine a teacher is teaching, and then in a class, using the English language, and then one person stand up, or the teacher feels like, okay, since now they say we should use, we should use local dialect. He just enters the class and then starts speaking Tree. What of someone who is a Voltarian who cannot even speak a single Tree, maybe Brampo, the person cannot even say it? How is the person going to understand what the teacher is saying?
But they do. They use it.
They use it.
Yeah.
They use the Tree in explaining.
Yeah, but it's not fluent.
So now it has been made compulsory. But let's say in a class, you see that there are some people in classes who cannot even speak, what's the name? They can't speak the local dialect. It's only English language. Or there are some people who cannot speak, let's say, when you go to the Volta region, I don't think they study Tree over there, right? Yeah. They use, what's the name? Ever. So if you are an Asante man and you find yourself in a Voltarian school or in the Volta region, and the teacher is teaching with Ever, how are you going to understand? You won't. Yeah, so I feel like in as much as you can speak, what's the name? You can speak the local dialect. The English language should also be very, very important. We shouldn't just leave it behind, because the English language is an internationally accepted language. It's a internationally accepted language where we can all understand. We can all understand. You get it? Because French is also internationally accepted, because there are so many countries that can speak French. But unless you go to somewhere Benin to go and speak over, you get one or two people. But if you go to let's say Italy, then go and stand and be like Efonama. You can just imagine. Or you go there and say me pacho me tui. Like they won't even understand what you are saying. So please, in as much as we want to use the local dialect, the English language should also be very, very, very important. And I think this, with the local dialect too coming in place, it will help a lot of people. When you learn, the positive sides are also there. When you learn, what's the name? When you learn and then you don't understand, maybe a teacher is using the English language to teach. There are some vocabularies here and there that you find difficult to understand. And then he changes them, or he changes to using the local dialect. You'll be okay. You'll be able to comprehend, you're able to understand, you're able to navigate your way through. And before you realize, you are all good. So if it should be used hand in hand, that would be the best thing. But if you are saying because they've made local dialect compulsory, we should relegate the English language to the background, then I don't think that is a good thing. Yeah, that's what I feel. So I want to know what you also think in the comment section, okay? I want you also know what you also, think about this issue, because I feel Ghana. Ghana, you have a chance in country, and now say ever. Yeah, because even when it was not even, let's say, when it was not made compulsory, people were speaking the tree more than the English. And even when you tell someone to construct just a sentence, the person finds it very, very difficult to construct that sentence. Because yes, waka tree na, waka eve na, waka Ghana manaka, the Hausa waka sa, so they are not even able to express themselves in English. Yes, somebody will say, yes, when you go to a country like France, they are speaking French, they are not speaking English. France is internationally accepted, or it is an international language. We have francophone countries, different that when you go there, you can speak French. English, when you go to so many places, people understand. Even when you go to India, they are speaking English. They can speak English, even though it is not as good as someone from Britain or the United States. You get it? So in as much as we want to, I feel we should still make sure that the English language is also very, very important. We shouldn't leave it behind. So that is what is going on. That is what the minister has said. Okay, that is what the minister has said, has now made it possible, has now made it compulsory for teachers to use the local dialect in our schools. So let me know what you think in the comment section. My name is Ringtone, and until then, we are out.